Hi everyone, good day to you all. I wanted to talk today about these Mount Falcon glasses that I got from Tactical RX. They've been working really well for me so far. Had them for about a month and a half, slightly over that actually, but these are actually, to start off, these are definitely not for everyone, because what makes these special is that these are actually prescription shooting glasses. So if you don't need a prescription, you can go a lot more places and get a lot cheaper shooting glasses that work really well, but that is the draw of these, is that they are prescription. So that was one of the biggest reasons, of course, why I chose these in specific, but there are a few other issues I was having with my normal glasses that these actually fix as well. These are issues that you may or may not have with normal glasses. It kind of depends on your specific frame and all of that, but I'll go ahead and talk about them regardless, because they've been a problem, for me at least, with several pairs of glasses that I have owned. So the first issue I've had is with scopes, specifically with these lower mounts, as I have on this rifle that I'm borrowing for the video. This is I believe just a standard 1.5, and this is not an issue that I have with higher mounts, but one thing I've noticed on these lower mounts with my normal pair of glasses here, which I'll go ahead and put on really quick for demonstration purposes. So now that I got my normal pair of glasses on, I'm going to go ahead and shoulder this rifle. So the issue that I always have, if you can kind of see it here, maybe a little bit, is that my frame itself is like halfway between the scope, and I would always have to push these up whenever I was shooting with these glasses in the past, just to be able to get a full sight picture. And that's not something I have to do with these new Mount Falcon glasses, because they, for one, if I go ahead and put them back on, so you can see with these Mount Falcon glasses, they go up quite a bit higher on my face, and the top of the frame itself is more almost in line with my eyebrow itself. So when I do go to shoulder the rifle, the whole frame is above what I see with the scope. So there's no issue with me having to constantly push these up and all of that. Now, as I mentioned a little bit, I said that this is only an issue I had with this specific pair of glasses. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll probably have noticed that in most of my videos when I'm out shooting, I'm usually wearing sunglasses because it's bright out there, and they work better for that. So this is the pair of sunglasses I have right here. These had their own issue. So with these sunglasses, whenever I wore these shooting, these also go up high enough to where I don't have that issue with the scope and having to push these up constantly. But interestingly, these had their own issue. If you look back here, these are really stiff, and that's an issue I've noticed with a lot of just normal glasses. The arms are quite stiff, and the way that these would sit, and it's actually the same, not as bad, but it is the same with my normal pair of glasses here. When I actually put on hearing protection, the arms would kind of push out on the rear part of the ear cup on these Peltors, at least how I wear them, and they don't break the seal to where I'm having an issue and getting ringing in my ears or anything like that, but they do cause an issue over time after wearing these for usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours, where it would start to give me a really bad headache. I've always been particular about the type of hats I wear with Peltors and all that, which is why in most of my videos nowadays I wear a Feldmütze or just general field caps, because they work great, and other hats would cause an issue and kind of push in and give me a headache over time. But I was never able to fix the headache I got from the arms on these glasses. So comparing that to these Mount Falcon glasses here, and to actually show you a little bit closer, these are actually very flexible. You don't need a special tool or anything in order to fix these and just kind of push them to be perfect on your face. And it's also the same with the part that goes onto your nose here. This is like a, you can see that right there. It's kind of like a rubberized, it's not your traditional sort of metal piece with just that goes on your nose. Not sure exactly what you'd call that, but it has a lot more grip to your nose as well. As you can see, there's kind of some lines right there. So there you go, you can see there's kind of some lines there as well that grip really well. And yeah, you can just adjust these on the fly with your finger, just like pushing them in. I have them perfectly adjusted currently, so I'm not going to mess with that. They are not so loose or easy to adjust that they will just fall out on their own and you keep having to readjust them. But on the off chance that you do get something bumped on your glasses, that will be enough to, bump them out of place, and you will need to readjust them then. but I've only had that happen once, and it's not really that big of an issue because it's so rare anyway. So these glasses did fix both of those issues, and as I mentioned, those may not be issues that you even have with your specific pair of glasses if they just happen to fit you really, really well. But for me, that did fix it. And again, this won't be an issue if you do have a higher scope mount. For example, on this here, I've never had an issue, even with those other pairs of glasses, with the frame being right in the middle of where I need to see. So on these newer, higher scope mounts with the more modern shooting stance, it hasn't been an issue, but still, it is nicer when I do go back to just either the lower mounts or just some of the older rifles I have that just happen to have a lower mount on them. So for a few other things just about these glasses, they make these completely custom. I believe in my case, these took, they told me it would take 3 weeks to get these made. I believe for me, it was just 1 day extra. So not at all bad there, and they came really quick once they shipped. Another thing you may have already noticed is these are transition lenses. You probably noticed that they have been getting darker as the video's been going on. They have a ton of customization options that you can select or choose not to select. In my case, for example, I got a extra hard scratch coat, which sounded like a good idea. Transition lenses, of course, as I mentioned already. And then they do have an option, for example, to get like a mirror coating if you want to. That's not something I was really wanting. And the last thing that is something that I've been neglecting for a while, but ultimately better late than never to actually get it, is these are actual safety glasses, so they will work. As I mentioned, these are like proper shooting glasses. They don't just look the part. So it took me a while, as I mentioned, to get actual like really good shooting glasses. Before this, I was just using a pretty bulky pair of goggles, and they worked, but these are a lot more comfortable. I don't believe there's too much else to say about these. As I said, these have been working great for me. I've been really impressed with them so far. They got my prescription right as well, completely perfect. I was a bit concerned about that because, you know, lens crafting and all that. I'm not sure how hard it is to get that perfect, but it is flawless and been really comfortable. Absolutely no complaints. A little bit about the case as well. They do actually send you a case, as you can see here, a multicam case with their Tactical RX logo on it. This case is pretty good. It is hard-sided, so you don't need to worry about if you, for example, put this in your backpack, which is usually how I carry these around. It's not going to deform and crush your glasses in them. Now, also, this does have a MOLLE strap. This will work with actual MOLLE. However, these aren't perfectly spaced. As I said, it will work, not ideal. And additionally, the actual strap you can see here is very flimsy. It wants to wiggle around a lot. It's not the biggest issue to me. I'm never going to be actually attaching this to MOLLE. I think that'd be kind of just an awkward way to carry them and not ideal. And last, this case does come with a small sort of hook here. I have replaced it. I cut off that original one. I've replaced it with a carabiner, you can see here, because sometimes when I'm not wearing my backpack, I do like to just strap this onto my belt, and it works great then. So that original hook is not big enough to actually go onto a belt, but carabiner is, and that's my preferred method of doing that. So that's how I've got this set up. So some of these extra features on this case are kind of mediocre, but the case itself is good, and the glasses, which are what really matter, and that's what I particularly cared about, work flawlessly. So a very good pair of glasses overall, I would say. So that covers it for these glasses. Hopefully you all found this informative. Getting an actual pair of good safety or shooting glasses is definitely a good idea. And as I said, something that took me a bit too long to do, but at least I finally got around to it. And yeah, these have been holding up great. So thank you all for watching a whole lot, especially if you got through the entire video. Let me know if you have any other questions about these in case there's something I missed or just anything else in general. And if not, or either way, I hope to see you all in the next one. So take care, and I'll see you all then.